Colts at Chiefs. I find the Colts extremely appealing. I've made no bets yet. I also find the first half under appealing. Not the full game, but the first half under. Open Colts -5, now a mix of -5s and 5.5s. Total open at 56. Now a couple of 56.5s, mostly 57. The weather in Kansas City on Saturday is snow. 34 Fahrenheit, the high, 29 Fahrenheit, the low, with 11 miles per hour. Andrew Luck is on a warpath. I feel like it's clear that the Colts have a much better defense than the Chiefs. The Colts will run the ball down the Chiefs' throat and keep Mahomes off the field. Frank Reich has been incredible. The Chiefs are 0-6 in home playoff games since Joe Montana won one for them 25 years ago. The Colts have won 10 of 11 and are one hot, dangerous number 6 seed. Colts are 6-0 both against the spread straight up in their 6 games against teams with a winning record this season. They ran for 200 yards against the Texans. Kansas City's defense ranks number 27th first to run, giving 132.1 yards per game. Chiefs were 31st in the league, allowing 5 yards per carry, which will keep Mahomes on the sideline. Colts defense ranks 5th in the NHL in efficiency during a 10-1 stretch. Colts have been the NFL's stingiest defense since Week 7, giving up an average of 16.4 points. Andy Reid has lost outright in each of his past 4 games as a home favorite in the postseason, including twice with Kansas City. Yes, Chiefs are first in the league in yards per game, yards per play, points per game. Mahomes making his playoff start, 50 touchdown, 5,000-yard season. The Chiefs at Arrowhead were, the home team, allowed 18 points per game. That's 6th best in the NFL. Their defense looked good at home. 2nd in sack rate. Referee John Hussey averaged 14.6 flags per game during the regular season, 5th fewest in the NFL. The Chiefs were the most penalized team in the league. Their defensive secondary was especially grabby, committing a league-high 24 fouls for defensive holding, 24 fouls, while the rest of the league averaged just 9.8. I like the Colts. I like the first half under. Donnie Rightside, let's start with you. Colts at Chiefs, divisional playoffs. What are you thinking?
Yeah, early look at this game, Jimmy, before we get in like too deep there. The 57 really sticks out. And I know both of these teams can get up and down the field, but we're also talking about what you're saying. Like, I don't know how much the snow is going to play into it, or maybe the possible rainy conditions, windy and cold, but it's still a dome team going outdoors, 3rd straight road game for the Indianapolis Colts. And usually in the playoffs, more likely than not in the fourth quarter, you're going to get one team salting it away. And how many times have we talked this year, Jimmy, throughout the shows? We're not talking about 41 or 42 points. This is 57 points in a playoff game. Now, also the breakdown that everybody's going to want to know is what's going to take place, who's going to overcome what strength. 18 sacks during the regular season for the Indianapolis Colts, held up really well against a nice front last week against the Houston Texans. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs get a little bit, not enough shine on their defense because they're usually involved where their offense scores in, 3 or 4 minutes time. They're back out there. They had 52 sacks this year. So you're going to have strength on strength to see who's going to penetrate this one. But I think it really comes down to start it off, is one team is red hot, but the other one is rested. It's going to be fun to break this game down here today.
Oh, I can't wait to break it down. So we'll each give you guys 2 chances here. Now we'll go with the whale capper. Whale capper, I'm liking Colts on the spread. I'm also liking the first half under. Can't wait to hear your angles on this.
So the point that Donnie raised that resonated the most with me is that this is going to be the most fun game to break down. This might be the most fun game to break down in handicap that we get all season. There are so many narratives at play that support both sides in this one. It makes it, there is no clear right side here. If my handicap where I ended up here, I'm looking for, I don't think either defense is going to cover themselves in glory in this game whatsoever. I think there's an edge on the full game over. I think there's an edge on the Chiefs team total over. I wouldn't talk anyone away from playing the Colts, but I will caution you that a power numbers approach to this game, if this was a neutral situation, there are free points still to back the Chiefs. Okay. The problem is this is not a neutral situation, and the Colts are especially in an especially tough spot. This is their 3rd week in a row on the road in a must-win game. This is a very, very difficult spot to be in. You look back through years past when a team has to travel 3 weeks in a row and they're playing a team coming off of a bye at home. It's not, you are already starting with a disadvantage. Add to this that the Chiefs match up especially well with their passing attack against your defense if you're the Indianapolis Colts. And I think again, going back to, I'm holding a Colts 100-1 to win the AFC ticket in my pocket here, and I am somewhat at a free roll here to be pretty bullish on the Chiefs in this game. But I think the nice way to kind of look for a potential middle here is to get a Chiefs team total over, because I really think, the likelihood that you're going to see a tight Mahomes, first ever playoff game for you, that narrative has just driven me nuts this week. Pat Mahomes just went out there and won the MVP, for crying out loud. He's going to 100% show up and ball in this game. What Andy Reid, what Bieniemy are doing and with the offense in Kansas City is without a doubt, the best that we've seen across the league this year from start to finish. They have weaknesses on defense, sure. Does that make the Colts live? Sure. But I think at the end of the day, the way that we look at the way that the AFC playoff is shaped, you have a weak Patriots team and you have two tired teams in the Chargers and the Colts. This is the year the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. I've taken a ton of liability off of my Colts 100-1 AFC ticket previously. Before they beat the Texans, I took a big chunk of Chiefs to win the AFC, and I still think they pull off a victory here. I'm playing with a little bit of house money, so I can kind of take some of these more aggressive positions, I suppose. But Chiefs team total is my favorite look in this game.
Wow, Chiefs team total. Most of the chat here liking the Chiefs. Ron Lofton saying, well, on point. Diggy Balls, I like the Chiefs on the spread. Marco says Colts schedule was easy. Dom Ricci, I took Chiefs -5 as soon as I could, an hour after winning a max bet on the Colts. Ron Crawford, the question is, can the Colts keep up the scoring? Wow. Ricky Levine, Chiefs all day. Taylor H, Mahomes will shred that cover too. Sammy the Frog with you. Whale Capper saying Chiefs team total over 31 is free. Jay Peach, Luck is already feeling on top of the world with health. I don't see him winning here and not feeling too bad about it. Jose Villegas says Colts get blown out. They play a real team this week. Donnie, is it a recency bias for me? Or, it's 10 of 11 games the Colts have won. I just feel like they're a very, very dangerous squad. And if I'm going to get 5 or 5.5 points, I think I'm going to take it. None of you guys have mentioned what you thought about that first half under yet. I'd love it if you would touch on it, because I think there's the possibility of a high-scoring fourth quarter. But I think the Colts will do whatever they can to keep Mahomes off the field. Donnie Rightside, Colts and Chiefs.
Yeah, and look, I like the full game under 57 just because of the number I'm getting. And again, I'm going to throw into a little bit of one of those little coin flips that might help you. Who knows? Maybe we do get snow during the game. Maybe we get rain during the game. That doesn't help the over. It can only help the under. So if you're leaning in that direction, Jimmy, I agree. First half under, and again, full game under. But if we're taking a look, I think this weekend has a little bit of a setup about to take place, because if everybody is saying, look at the dogs, look at how much they're cashing in. This week's a little bit different. These are unique circumstances where all the better teams are rested now. And a lot of these situations, Whale Capper brings up, we're looking at 3 straight road games for a lot of these. And we're not talking about 3 straight road games where it's Raiders. We're talking about playoff level must-win situations. You know what I mean? Now, look at the Colts here, Jimmy. I can't take anything away from what the Colts done. You can only beat who is on your schedule. But let's take a look who they actually beat on their schedule and what they're running up against here in the Kansas City Chiefs. They go to, I'm just talking from the Colts' perspective here. October the 4th, they go to New England. They get flamed 38-24. But let's take a look at who we're playing the rest of the way in the styles that we're playing. The New York Jets, the Buffalo Bills. All right, so you got the Oakland before they got injured. They can throw it around a little bit. But then you're getting the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Tennessee Titans, the Miami Dolphins, the Jaguars again, Houston, Dallas, the Giants, who put up 309 yards and almost lost to that team, and then Tennessee and Houston. What I'm trying to say in this situation is, yes, you're getting those wins, but did your defense really come to the plate against an elite top 10 style offense that can air it out multiple looks with some really nice play calling here? I like what the Colts have done all year long on defense. But if you're telling me we're going to defend against, Deshaun Watson and just play a zone and he can't beat it, and we're going to get Blaine Gabbert a couple times, and the Giants on one leg without Odell Beckham Jr., Dallas in a ridiculously horrible spot, yes, you did shut them out. But there's some certain things that you have to key up on and say, what did these teams actually do when they were playing them? Because Patrick Mahomes and this Kansas City offense, as long as there's not a monsoon out there, they're going to be able to put up some points back there. And I'm interested to see this Colts defense, which I like very much improved from the past couple of years. They're going to be tested in this one. So I'm not looking for a way to take the Colts. I think the Colts are a good football team. Can they win it? Absolutely. You've seen them come down the stretch. But a rested and ready Andy Reid football team at Arrowhead, even though you say, hey, Donnie, look, they haven't been that good at Arrowhead in the playoffs the past decade or so. I understand that. But I'm just looking to make fights here. I think the Colts can put up some points, yes. But I think Kansas City is going to be able to do stuff to this Indianapolis team that they haven't seen yet, at least over the past, 12, 13 games?
Do you find Andy Reid's record, losing outright each of his past 4 games as a home favorite in the postseason, do you take that lightly? How do you handle that stat? Is Andy Reid
It's almost an anomaly. It's almost an anomaly because when you think of Arrowhead, playing at Seattle, playing down in the Dome, it's a decided advantage. So it's almost like when you look at Kansas City's record, you want to wipe your eyes because you think it should be exactly opposite. Like, ooh, they've won 10 straight home games. I can't understand how you can have that big of an advantage at home, and in the playoffs, it just doesn't help you. It's crazy. So you do have to include that in there. But I'm trying to say, you know what? Prior to this, and I'm looking at, a new team in here and what they're trying to do, I just think the Chiefs overall are a better team. They're at home. They're number 1 seed for a reason. And maybe Arrowhead rises up for once and actually is, a formidable foe for the road team.
Anthony Mastronardi says, do Donnie or Will Capper know how many games Patrick has played in the snow? Texas A&M product. How do you think he'll handle the cold weather?
I mean, how many games has Andrew Luck played in the snow, being from Stanford and all that? So, I mean, I don't think that's really big of a deal. And then if you're talking about that, I mean, they're used to practicing in cold weather in Kansas City. When you have a dome team going outdoors, you would think Kansas City would still have the advantage. It does get cold in Kansas City.
Yeah, all of Patrick Mahomes is a small sample size, so we had never seen him play in a playoff game. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty for sure in what to expect out of Pat Mahomes. I'll just answer the Andy Reid playoff home favorite sloppiness. Obviously, it's Matt Nagy's fault. He took that with him to Chicago. Now that you got a fresh set of coordinators in there, I think we see a much better performance. No, but more realistically, if you look at a lot of the quarterbacks in a lot of these Chiefs games that they've lost at home, you had to go back to Joe Montana to find a playoff winning home quarterback in Kansas City. Guess who may be of that level of quarterback? Pat Mahomes. He's the MVP of the league this year. He is doing things that no one else across the league could do. And it's not just because he has a dynamic set of weapons to throw to, but he's got a talent and a skill set that is absolutely perfect for this time in the league. And it feels like it's going to come together for the Chiefs this year. And weather be damned, and playoff Andy Reid be damned. I think the Chiefs get it done. Probably not in style, but I think they definitely put a pretty impressive score up. Real quickly to address your first half under thought, if the Colts win the coin toss, the first half under is like Lock City. If the Colts get the ball first, they are going to put together a nice little 6-minute drive, really lean on the run, really try to sequence their plays so that they're getting short third down opportunities, converting those third downs. You're going to see a lot of rushing on the ground. I doubt you see them try to pick up the pace and try to score quickly to put pressure on the Chiefs. I think you see a methodical, work their way into the game type of performance, and the first half under will be extremely live. If the Chiefs win the coin toss, I would expect them to try to strike quick. The Chiefs strike quickly anyway. Like the Chiefs, I feel like an average length of touchdown scoring drive, the Chiefs have to be the shortest of all of the teams in the league. Like they just hit home runs consistently. And I would expect that if the Chiefs win the coin toss and they go out there and score a touchdown right away, if you're holding the first half under ticket, you're probably squirming, right? Like it's going to be like, oh man, because now the Colts have to come answer. We know the Colts can't. And the one strength that the Chiefs really have in terms of their defense is the pass rush. That gets totally neutralized by probably the best offensive line that's left in the playoffs in Indianapolis. So it's going to be if you see the Colts win the coin toss, you're going to feel great about that first half under. If it goes the other way, then it's still live, but you're going to need a little bit of first ever playoff game jitters from Mahomes in the first half of that game, I think, to get that one home.
Do you find when you're capping this game, do you expect one half to be higher scoring? When I was breaking down this game, I guess I had just this kind of an image of if the Chiefs need points late, they'll get them. If Andrew Luck needs points late, he's capable of getting them. I was a little afraid of taking both halves on the under, first half and full game. What do you think about that?
Strongly agree. The second half will be the higher scoring half for a couple of reasons. And you laid them out. If the Chiefs are up, the likelihood that Andy Reid properly manages the clock and puts this game away without giving the ball back to Andrew Luck to get back into the game is virtually zero. If the Colts are up, the likelihood that you're going to be able to keep Mahomes from scoring because you're talking about a defense that's now third week on the road. They're going to have some fatigue issues in the second half here. I would very much expect at any point, if the Chiefs are down in this game, that they are going to be live to come back. We saw in the game against the Rams very memorably, the Chiefs, down 10, looked like they were out of the game. And the next thing you blink and they're up 4. This team can 100% get after it, putting points on the board. And I would expect that the second half is a lot more wide open than the first half. I don't think that either of these teams can run effectively enough in the second half to play keep away, really. And I think that lends itself to kind of like you mentioned, that if there's a higher scoring half, it's going to be the second half.
I like that. I like where I stand. I'm going to move forward with the Colts on the spread in the first half under. Crypto King asking about the money line for the Chiefs. You can get anywhere between minus 210 and minus 230. And my man Bubba giving us an interesting point here that I copied and pasted. He said this head ref calls 62% unders. That and the weather plays big on first half and full game under. Wow, this is fun. This is fun, and I can't wait to break all these games I find so exciting.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.